town. I'm the one you call when you need a 10 up or down. I'm a tent rental man, I'm working all day, getting those stakes in the ground no matter what they say. From sunrise to the night, I make sure everything's right. Yeah, I'm a tent rental man, I'm working all day.
Welcome back to Under the Vinyl, a rental management media podcast, where we go from tent tops to turkey leftovers without skipping a beat. Thanksgiving has officially left and wrapped up, and sweatpants have retired. Now we're barreling straight through the chaos of magical, stressful, joyful time of year and Christmas season, along with trying to battle labor. As always, Kyle, how you doing, buddy?
I'm hanging in there. It's finally cold in New Jersey, and I don't like it.
Oh, don't tell me about cold. I got stuck in the north for 24 hours. It was a magical chaos.
That was your brother's fault.
It was my brother's fault, and although the snow was really great, I missed Thanksgiving completely with my in-laws, and so that kind of sucked. But at the same time, I got to spend some time in Indiana, and so that was cool. But 2 airlines later and 5 flights, we are back in Chattanooga, and there's no snow on the ground, and it's cold outside.
That sucks. Is the wife mad at you?
No, I think everybody was just upset that I didn't make it there. Not in an upset way, like they're mad, just kind of bummed out. I mean, I was kind of bummed too, looking forward to it, and thought everything would work out perfect. But as you know, in the north, it's probably not the best time to fly through, so it should make really fun when we go up to ARA of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So I've already told my wife, just be prepared that I probably will not be home on Saturday night.
I think we should just let Robert Copley know to make beds for us in his house, because if we get stuck there, I want to at least, get the full Copley experience.
Well, I have no doubt that it's happening, so we'll just have to play that by ear and see what happens. I saw you busted out the snowplows already.
I did. I had to take everything out yesterday, so they're saying Friday night we might get some, which will be a little problematic for us over here at LNA, but we'll get through it.
So how was your Thanksgiving?
It was good. I can't complain. I got no emergency calls for the tents we had out, which is always a good thing, but I was also kind of banking on that. Gets me out of dinner a little bit early. Get to go home, go to bed if I get a call because the heater's not working, but everything worked out.
You gotta love that. What was the best Thanksgiving dish or worst Thanksgiving dish that you had?
Best was the Busch Lights, but
Can't
the worst, turkey's just so boring. I don't know why people enjoy it.
I literally just said this last week, and you had a rebuttal to that. That's why I told you I liked ham.
Well, I think we should have like sirloin steaks or filet mignon on Thanksgiving, Let's just change it up. We're a new generation, Nate. We can do that. That's our jobs.
What did you eat, like a civilized human or more of like a raccoon?
Probably more like a raccoon.
Kind of figured that. We'll wait till this episode the episode before this drops, so we can see if your sister has a rebuttal on everything from Thanksgiving.
Yeah, hopefully she doesn't listen, but I'm sure when you meet her at ARA, you'll tell her all the mean things I said.
All I have to do is hit play, and we can go from there. But well, let's shift over to the event world for Christmas. You guys got any Christmas installs going on?
I have a big Christmas party that we're starting this week. The event's not for 2 weeks, but we have to get it in there so that other vendors can load in. So that's the biggest one I got going on. We do it every year, so it should be fairly easy. We try to get better every year. I don't know if everyone does that, but, we used to do vinyl on Duratrack for this job. The first year we did that, and then
we all learned that lesson.
I watched women's heels go through the floor and wanted to cry while I was sitting there as the attendant. And then the next year we did plywood on top of Duratrack with vinyl. And then this year I finally convinced my dad, and Banks and I had a great conversation at Matra, and we bought Groove, and he was able to get it done for us within 2 weeks. So that all comes in tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that. And we're going to do Groove this year. So this episode of Under the Vinyl is brought to you by Anchor Industries, a 5th-generation, family-owned American manufacturer of tents and clear-span structures. Anchor has spent decades engineering products that last season after season, and they're more than just your supplier. They're a partner committed to helping grow your business. And right now, Anchor's winter discount is live. Get 15% off frame, fabric, and accessories for your tents and clear spans now through January 26th. Make sure you let them know Kyle and Nate sent you. Contact your sales rep today. Call 800-544-4445 or visit anchorinc.com to learn more. Making
which
strides.
is great because I've already emailed you first thing this morning to ask you for pictures because I had somebody asking for it. So maybe we can get this sub rental process going again.
Yeah.
Do you find it more corporate style events in the wintertime, or are you guys doing more individual backyard stuff?
We are a corporate tent company is what I tell people.
But it's
You
wintertime,
get to,
so do you feel like you need to take some backyard stuff? And obviously you will, but do you feel like
I'm
you
only,
are getting anything?
no, I'm not going to do it for less in the winter just for the work. We don't, uh, I don't need the money. That's the wrong way to say it. We are not going to lower the price just to have the revenue come in. Because this time of year, it's no secret, everything is harder. It's harder to put tents up. You have a snowstorm, that's all time you're going to be out there making sure everything's okay. So I don't want to discount our work just to have work. And then also, like we were talking, all my H2B guys are gone, so I'm down to a staff of about 8 guys. So they also are burning all their vacation time right now, which I love because they're not taking it in the summer. They all kind of want to take it between December 1st and the end of January. I let them carry some over through January, which works out really good for us just because they're not taking it in the summer. But
Hmm.
like I have 3 guys out on vacation this week out of the 8, so there's 5 guys working today.
So if an $8,000 job comes in tomorrow
I'm gonna
and you have
take it.
nothing going on,
Yeah, I'll take
okay,
that. But I'm not.
okay,
I'm not gonna compete with a guy who's doing a 20 by 20 for
right?
$400. Yeah, that's just not the work we're
Oh
going after.
yeah. So you'll do a backyard job. It just needs to
Yeah,
be a higher price. Yeah,
it's not that it's a
that's
higher.
kind of where I'm at.
I'm just more expensive than the 6 other companies they could call.
Right. Do you tell them that?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
we're so New Jersey's weird. And when I tell people this, they think I'm crazy. There's six
No, I
companies
believe
within a
New
mile.
Jersey's weird.
There's 6 companies within a mile and a half of where I'm sitting right now that we
Hmm.
all do.
Okay.
Now we're all different sizes, but we have a ton of rental companies in our market. A lot of them all are on the smaller size, and I have a bunch that when I can't handle something, or someone calls for a backyard 20 by 20 in June when we're slammed doing other bigger stuff. I feed them some of these smaller guys the work, which is great. We have a great working relationship. I got one guy, he comes in probably 3-4 times a month and sub rent stuff from us, and I love that. I'm happy to help him out whatever he needs. He can call me at 5 in the morning. He knows I'm here during busy season. He says, "Oh, I'm 10 chairs short." Sure, show up. You know I'm here. Um, and I think that's the way the industry should be. We should all be willing to help each other out. Um, and you should definitely lean on your local competitors. I think is the wrong word, but friends.
Yeah, I mean, we have that same thing in Nashville where we have a lot of people. I mean, there's at least same thing, 6 companies, all different sizes. I think a lot of those smaller companies are probably going to take more of the style work that we're talking about for the wintertime. That's when I see it fall off. We will still have some corporate stuff that'll come in, or some typical venue stuff that will come in, just depending on weather. Getting into December, I feel like we start to get down around January, February, we're not really seeing much at all, and not having the tables and chairs on that side up there, we don't see a heck of a lot. But same thing. I'll take whatever comes in as long as they're willing to pay the price. I mean,
I do envy
especially.
those guys who do tabletop this time of year.
Yeah, I used to do tabletop this time of year, and I mean at Bryant's when I was there, we were doing in December, we were still doing 20, 30 deliveries on a Thursday and Friday. And then Monday we'd have 40 something pickups. So I mean, yeah, I mean the business is great, and it's usually about January after New Year's is when it really kind of dies. I feel like for those tabletop companies, you'll still get some parties, maybe some Christmas parties that don't happen in December that people move just because everybody's traveling and do it later in January or February. But for the most part, that and heater rentals. Feel like I feel like heater rentals are a hot topic this time of the year as well. I don't
Ooh,
know
I got
about
I got
you,
a
but
question regarding that.
yeah, we do here in Chattanooga. We rent out the patio heaters. In Nashville, if anybody calls for heat, I'm automatically calling somebody that I partner with to have them come do the heat for me. And my main thing on that is what I've learned over the years is whatever heaters you use, you're going to have some sort of issue. And I think that, you make a lot of money on your propane sales and things from that, especially if you have a tank on site. But when it comes to the heater issues and problems, it becomes more than what it's worth. And I found that you always have to have a tech on site if you're gonna have heaters, or somebody that's within the area at least on call, or have a second heater.
Yeah, that was going to be my question: is do you require an on-site tech? Because we've started, if it's a smaller, we did one of the Thanksgiving parties was a 20 by 90, and I just overheated the crap out of it, and I literally told the woman, I'm like, you're gonna have 5 heaters hooked up. You should only need to turn 2 on, but if one of them doesn't work, you can just go flip the next one on. Just because it was kind of better peace of mind for me instead of having someone sit there on a holiday. And I had the heaters available, so it's not costing me any extra to have them sit there.
Well, and not only that, but when weather suddenly decides to become a main character in the whole equation, and the snow builds up on top of the tent top, you got to heat that thing more than you would normally do to push that off. So I think, accounting for a possible issue, praying that there isn't one, but also accounting for the snow and things like that for snow loads if it's coming.
Yeah, we've seen some interesting things with snow on tents last few days, Nate, haven't we?
Man, yeah, we'll just go ahead and dive right into that. The people that are posting that we're seeing on social media of tent issues and tent tops in the snow, some of these issues are just self-inflicted and you need to do better. I'm going to put that out there now. Whether it be the heat inside the tent, the weight inside the tent, or just properly installing the tent with braces and things like that and making sure that it's snow load in certain areas. It's just crazy to me that the people that are in this industry that just don't give a damn, even though we're trying to make it a better industry.
I always wonder,
And let me preface that by saying everybody's going to have issues. I understand. And if you did everything right to make it work, then great. And, an act of God can happen. But at the same time, when you see that picture on there and you can immediately go to the very first thing that you see on there and say, there's part of the issue or there's part of the issue, I mean, there's no hiding it. If you're going to post it, you're not hiding it.
yeah. Well, and, with the power of social media today, anything gets out there now. So,
Well, and people talk and people know, and you and I and other people know enough people in the areas that we're going to find out who it was and what happened there and the backstories, and it's just comical.
yeah. But it's, we're on this snow topic, so we might as well continue talking about it. Some advice for the smaller guys. You got to have a snow plan in place. What does that mean? You either got to be bringing in 8 times as much heat as you think you need, or you're paying someone to sit there the entire time it's snowing. And that's typically what we do. We heat it, and then someone is sleeping there in a truck the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
And it is miserable. That was the worst part about COVID for me, was everything that was up every time it snowed. Ugh.
Miserable.
But you get it done.
Well, with that, have you found it harder to deal with frozen staking in the snow as well?
No, because of the 10-ox, man. This thing will do anything.
That's true. Another plug for 10-ox there. Thanks, Andy.
Damn.
So trying to heat a tent the size of an airplane hangar with 2 tiny heaters. I've heard people not knowing how to properly heat these tents. What are you going off of?
I'll either go on LB White's website. They have a nice heat calculator, or I think HeatStar has one too.
Mm-hmm.
Use the resources at your hand.
Yeah.
Like, the internet is a wonderful thing. I bet if you put it in ChatGPT, it'll tell you. Let's try that right now.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, and I think that's been a lot, when you're competing with competitors over job quotes in this time of the year, and people don't properly heat it. They don't know what goes into it. And that's what I have found the advantage of partnering with another company that specifically works in heat and HVAC, because they are able to spit it out right away on what I need, and then I can hold them accountable for it rather than the guy that's putting up the tent that should be held accountable.
This is crazy what ChatGPT just spit out to me. I said, how many tent heaters do I need for a 30 by 90 frame tent? I was just throwing a random number in there. And it says, the answer depends heavily on 3 factors: how cold it is and how warm you want it, the sidewall situation, wind conditions, and insulation level of the tent, but that doesn't matter.
Well, technically it does, because they make the insulated sidewalls.
I guess that's true. So then this is saying, so this also says if for a 20 to 30 degree temperature drop, you want 1 BTU per square foot, which is probably sounds about right. Below 0, you want 2 plus. It's not practical without serious heat or sidewalls. I like that.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, too, I think ARA has a calculator for this. We need to jump on. If you jump on the website there for ARA, you can dig through that and also look there. But yeah, I mean, there's just so many avenues I feel like you can go down with this that's just unacceptable to not have enough heat, which also helps keep the snow off at the same time.
I'm shocked that this knows all this information. AI scares me.
Well, it does, but it's very helpful at the same time. I mean,
I use it a lot.
what's more unpredictable, winter weather or a client saying small gathering?
Client saying small gathering with a small budget, and then they want to spend a lot of money. Like, wait a minute.
500 people, small gathering, but we only want to spend $100,000.
I'm inviting a few of my closest friends.
Yeah,
200 of them to be exact.
That's usually the best one right there.
We're having a small wedding.
Yeah, it's never small anymore. Is there a job in December that you think you'll never forget that strikes that you'll just always remember?
Not because anything bad happened, but
Chaos,
I can remember doing like back when New Jersey was scared. Every time it snowed, we would build those lineman camps because we lost power one time like 10 years ago. So they would ship all these linemen in, and I can remember like putting these camps up in the middle of a snowstorm. It was kind of miserable, but then you do them and then the snow stops and they're like, all right, you can take them down now. We're done with those. Thanks. That was all for nothing.
Oh, I had, back when I first got in the industry, the first 6 years, I was working at A's Rental in South Bend, and where I just got stuck. But we had a job, we did a ice sculpture festival, and we were putting up 40 wide pole tents in end of December going into January. And that was before Tenox was like really a thing, and they were on asphalt parking lots. So we had bobcats out there, probably about 12 to 15 inches of snow, and we were just pushing it out of the way. And that was back before we really got into structure. So we were driving these stakes into asphalt. I just remember it was absolutely miserable driving stakes in hard asphalt with jackhammers, having to come in with the compressor and pre-drill the holes and then drive the stakes in. And we were putting up the 40 wide pole tents and trying to tie off rope still at that time. And it was rough. We were having people up there to kind of watch over it as it was all happening, but it was rough to say the least.
I was too young to go, but we helped friend of the pod Tom Molitor at American Rentals in Detroit do the Winter Classic. I was I was young, but there's pictures of our guys like inside the tents, and I guess it would snow overnight. So if the tops weren't on, they'd every day have to go in and shovel and plow out the tents before they put the walls on and stuff. Just miserable. But I can remember they all got there. They were so cold. My dad had to call and go buy them all like the big onesies so they could stay warm because no one was prepared for that. But
God, I think
all the crazy stuff you do.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's jump into a little Christmas tradition rapid fire here real quick. Got some questions. Real tree or fake tree?
We just switched.
Well, we just talked about this the other day, but
I was a real tree guy, and now I have a fake one. But I'm growing my own, so in 7 years I'm gonna have a real one.
I don't know what to think about that, but
I'm trying to get a tax write-off, so I'm a Christmas tree farm. Come on.
Oh my God, we have always gone real tree, but my wife is slowly looking at the fake trees this year, and I'm not upset about it. I'm the redneck that brings the leaf blower in the house after the Christmas tree goes down, and I blow the tinsels and everything out the front door.
Hey, you should go real tree this year and then buy it in January because they go on sale.
Real tree or fake tree?
Go real tree right now.
Okay.
And then in January buy your fake tree because they go on sale.
I've done that before. The biggest battle that my wife and I are currently having is a pre-lit or not pre-lit, and I'm the more logical thought process of in 4 to 5 years when I have to junk this thing because I'm going to be tracing down the bulb for over 2 years to try and make it light up again. We could have just bought a tree that is not pre-lit and just put the lights on, but she doesn't want to have to put the lights on.
Pre-lit, and then when the lights go bad, you just put lights on it. Duh. Save yourself the labor for a few years.
Could do that, I guess. Eggnog, elite or terrible?
Terrible.
Man, I'm not an eggnog fan, but there is some alcoholic beverages out there. I think Evan Williams actually makes it. Is a alcoholic eggnog, so it's got to be. It's got bourbon in it. I mean, it's not bad. That's the only bearable thing for me. You still
Drunk.
stick with the Busch Light?
Bush Lights, baby.
We've been having this next debate in our group chat, and I think it's been passed around. But when is the correct date to put up Christmas lights?
Black Friday.
After Thanksgiving. Anytime after
Yes.
Thanksgiving. Yes.
Why would you? People are just skipping Thanksgiving all of a sudden.
My wife tried to get me to go buy a tree last week, and I just wouldn't do it because I just couldn't get past. I couldn't get to Thanksgiving. And granted, we don't do Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving. We do it on Saturday, and technically, I just missed Thanksgiving as a whole this year since I was in the airport. But yeah, I think everybody more and more tries to skip Thanksgiving. It's really weird. But it also goes into our next one here. Christmas music before December 1st, acceptable or criminal?
Criminal.
I can't do Christmas music as a whole. I
Me
don't
either.
mind it for a couple days, but Christmas music gets me. I feel like I'm just talking about how much I hate holidays right now, but I really do not.
Producer Lauren is shooting daggers at you right now.
You'll have that. What is one childhood Christmas tradition that your family or you have?
Tradition?
Yeah. I know Brian's got to have some kind of tradition, right?
Well, he buys himself a Hess truck every year, which I think is oddly strange, but he has like every Hess truck from the 80s till now. And he doesn't buy one, he buys like 10 and then just gives them to every child he sees randomly between now and Christmas, which could be seen as strange.
Hey,
but
at least
he's a Hess
he's a
truck guy.
giving man. And so, do you guys have any kind of tradition that you guys do?
No, we're boring.
And then I'll go back to we'll go back to the 10 industry Christmas
Yeah.
list then.
Let's talk about tents, because that's what I love.
I thought you were a family man. I tried.
Someone this weekend, Nate, was like, Kyle, why don't you watch football? And I was like, well, if there was a TV show about tents, I can guarantee I would not miss an episode.
That is weird that I can't talk football with you. I could talk everything else, but not football.
You want to talk snow plowing, tents, heavy equipment, trucks?
Well, give me a little bit of a list, or I can start on a Christmas list that you would want as a 10 industry, or for you and your business even.
Where should I begin?
I'll start.
One, I want Ramsey Ducom's truck.
Oh,
You
the
know,
Monster Max of the 10
Monster
industry.
Max, yeah. That's
Yeah.
that'd be number one under my tree, please.
My number one would be for a client that reads a contract.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, that would be my first one. Any
To get
client
tipped
that
on
reads
every
totally fair.
job.
Every job? That's not bad.
To be respected, I can get really deep right now. To be able to act like the lighting company and do whatever you want, charge whatever you want, and never get any pushback. But God forbid the tent guy ever does that.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Or a crew that shows up early without bribery. How about that?
How about this? Every lighting company and design company to clean up their mess when they leave after the event, so you don't have to do it.
The zip ties will get you every time. It gets me.
Drives me
how-
nuts.
How about a forklift or a piece of equipment that you rented to just work properly and not have to deal with any issues?
Yeah, I wish I could be an equipment rental company when they break. Just,
Shout out Joe Baltz.
I'll be there in a week. Sorry.
Oh man, I would also think this is a wink, wink. A new warehouse for next year would be great for Nashville.
New warehouse in general. Like, imagine if you could afford an Amazon warehouse. Like,
Oh man, the thing is, like you could never pack it. You would think, but we would find a way to pack it with stuff. I mean, our warehouse in Nashville is adequate enough for what we needed, and we continue to pack it out, and that's why we're needing to find something new. But
when people tell me they buy a building, I'm like, or buying a building, I'm like, you should buy double what you think you need because you'll fill it in a year.
well,
It's
look
just-
at Party Reflections.
Yeah.
I mean, they were even filling the upstairs with all the couches and furniture still.
Yeah, the place was huge and it was full.
Yeah, I mean, wild. I think my last one would be coffee that never runs out because I am just a giant caffeine addict when it comes to work.
What about loyal customers who don't care about price?
Oh man, that could be a whole nother podcast. I feel like.
I feel like this industry's not as bad as that, but there's some, you know.
Well, there is. I think that it's not necessarily like I run into it with one venue. It's not necessarily like them always doing it. Not really them at all doing it. It's always they got a customer that comes in and is contracted through them, and then they come to us because we're the preferred vendor. They get our pricing, and then they go price shopping. And of course, the people that are not in that venue because we're supposed to be the exclusive one are going to try and get in, and they're going to lower the prices, especially this time of the year. And then they come back to us and they're like, well, this person's price was this. And then you either battle the process of why you're that much higher and have to explain it, or you have to match it. And I'm not one that likes to match.
No. Well, there's always some institutional knowledge, especially with venues, of like things that you know because you work there all the time that other company does not know.
Yeah. No, I would agree with that.
The institutional knowledge gets you far, as I've decided. It's all about what you know.
or who you know.
Well, hey, there's none of that. Come on.
It's a lot about who you know, apparently. But well, moving on here, let's go to some more serious moments. Some end of the year gratitude. What are some end of the year gratitude that Kyle might have?
I got to give it to a lot of my vendors. You know, I can be a little difficult sometimes because, you know, we don't order stuff just to have it sitting here. When I call and I need something, I usually needed it yesterday. So I got to give a shout out to Kevin Karcher at Intentional because he gets the brunt of those phone calls from me, and he also gets the ones when something's not right. And he owns it every time. You know, no manufacturer's perfect, but he gets the heavy end of Kyle's anger sometimes. So shout out to him. I hate that I'm about to say this, but Andy Matrick, the man gets so much love, but he also bails me out a ton. We have a bunch of machines, and when something goes wrong, he always knows what to do or who to call. Or
when you have 15 10-oxes, I'm sure he does bail you out.
That's a whole nother topic we could talk about. And I might be nice to Brian, you know. He's good. We fight once or twice a year, but other than that, he kind of lets us run this thing, and I do appreciate that. So
that's good.
And you, well, Nate. I guess I got to give you some gratitude.
Man, appreciate that. I was wondering if I was going to come in hot there or not, but I'm kind of, you know, mine would kind of be industry relationships just as a whole. Through this year, we've had a big year, I feel like, and just the partners that we've partnered with, as you know, at Chattanooga Tent, you know, just people helping us out with sub rentals and things like that. You know, and just having those industry relationships, developing those industry relationships to be able to call on somebody to help bail us out, or you know, even just help us out ahead of time with sub rentals and different things. I think that my teammates, just as a whole at Chattanooga Tent, leveling up. I think we've had a lot of growth as, you know, not even just a sales team, but just from the top all the way to the bottom. Proud of our guys as a whole, just in some I think starting at the beginning of the year, you know, we just had some huge projects starting with, you know, even the Titan Stadium.
And
as one
that job, Nate. I told you that.
Yeah. Moving all the way through, all the way to the very end on these, we had two garden tents in the same week to finish out the season, and in two different areas of the country. So it was just great to see everybody pulling together and pulling in the right direction to finish. You know, everybody was at their wits' end, as we all are coming to the end of the year, but everybody was pulling in the right direction to really get to the finish line, and we finally made that. And then I think the growth for this podcast, I think the ARA has helped us a lot to help grow this podcast and give us a different platform in some different spaces and some different people. And I appreciate everybody that has reached out, that says they're listening, which I also just make sure you're still subscribing, that they're listening and, you know, just giving us feedback even, or even coming to us and just telling us, like, you know, they're glad to hear the things that we're saying and that the issues that they're having they're not alone in. And to be able to help those people kind of bounce ideas off and talk about different things has been fun. So we've kind of created as you and I were talking, a sense of I'm not a therapist, but I feel like we're becoming some therapists for the rental industry at some points, and I'm
Yeah.
not mad about it. It's fun. It's fun to talk with everybody about the different things. But and then just personal shout out to my family, my wife, my kids, everybody. I think that I'm grateful for. We've had a really shitty year personally, but and we're ready for 2025 to be over. But I think that overall we're just grateful for where we're at. So it's been fun.
One last shout out,
What's that?
Lauren Mao, for dealing with all of us all the time.
Man, the text
We're
messages
not
that she
easy.
has to get, the text messages that she has to get from us on a daily basis.
Don't say us. It's you.
Hey, I'm very particular, but she's handled it well. She's not tried to fire me yet, so we're good. So I'm happy. So yes, thankful for her as well. Couple more questions here, Kyle. Best Christmas movie?
Elf? I don't know.
Elf. Ooh,
I'm an
okay.
uncultured swine, as some would say.
We've already got Home Alone on in our house.
I
We
saw
ran through
you
Home
put that
Alone
on
last night.
your Insta story.
It's December 1st, baby.
I watched Seabiscuit last night, in case you're wondering.
Okay, definitely Christmas vibes. I understand that. Worst Christmas song? I'm going all of them. All of them.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I want a hippopotamus for Christmas. That's a horrible one.
I just couldn't. I'm just not a Christmas song person at all. I'm the Grinch when it comes to Christmas music.
My wife tells me I'm the Grinch too.
Do you have a gift that you regret buying?
No, we could get on this gift topic and everyone will judge me, but I got to a point in life where I'm like, I don't know why I'm buying gifts for people, because most of my people I buy for just buy themselves whatever they want, and then I feel like I'm wasting money on something they don't actually want, and I hate that
Well,
feeling.
then you got to be very intentional. In our side of the family, I will get gift cards if that's the case, and I will say, "Here, go buy what you want." I know it's not
Yeah,
as thoughtful, but we're at the age now where I want you to be happy with your gift and not me spend a bunch of money on something that you're going to toss out to the side.
I feel so guilty. So my mother-in-law is one of those people who refuses to do the gift card, or just straight cash, which is my preference because I like it, and go buy beer with it. Um, And then she buys me something, and I don't yell at my wife. I'm like, honey, I'm never going to use this. Last year, she bought me a hot dog maker, and you put like 2 hot dogs in it and the buns,
Yeah,
which I
those
thought
are
was
good.
cool, but then my wife returned it, and I never got to use it.
That would have been a good idea for Brian's pool. Margarita machine and a hot dog roller.
I don't think I went in his pool at all this year. That's one thing about growing up that sucks, Nate. You don't go to your parents' house anymore.
Well, going back to yeah, right. Going back to gifts, I am going to challenge my kids this year. My wife and I have talked about this several times because my daughter is now 12 years old, going on 22, and she is asking for gifts that are just insanely outrageous on prices. So
You
we
shoot for the
decided,
moon.
yeah, well, she's shooting all right, shooting for broke. She is wanting so many things that we've decided we're going to go to them and ask them to name 3 things that they got last year for Christmas
I
and
like
see if
that.
they can do it. And if they can name 3 things that they've done, then we will look at getting them the gifts that they're asking for. But I know for a fact that my son cannot name maybe even one gift that we got him last year. We also make them right before Christmas. We do a Christmas clean out, and we make them go through all of their toys, and they have to donate a bag of toys each that they don't use anymore to kids and the less fortunate kids, and make sure that they know that it's not about the gifts and it's more about the family and everything. We also only do. You're gonna think our house is really strict, but we only
Sounds like
do
it.
we only do a want, need, and read. So
I
it's
like
not
that.
just you get a ton of gifts and they pile up. You get a want, you get a need, and you get a read.
Do they
Uh,
know Santa doesn't exist?
so our 12-year-old does. Our 8-year-old is there. And then obviously our two and a half
Josie
year old
doesn't
doesn't
know.
know. But it's I think the only good thing about the 8-year-old, I think he doesn't really know. I don't know. It's all over the place. But we have that damn elf on a shelf, which I could just throw out the window and it would never come back. We tried to hide it for a long time, and our 12-year-old finally realized that Santa's not real, the elf isn't real, and this damn thing keeps showing up at our house doing crazy stuff. So now she's actually participating in helping us with it. So that's kind of took the burden off of us and the elf on the shelf. Um, But my 8-year-old bought the Elf on a Shelf clothes yesterday at the store, which means he still thinks that it's real, which means that it's got to come back, which means I got a whole nother year of the damn Elf. I was hoping that our
Don't you have
2-year-old
to do
just
that
wouldn't.
like today?
Well, yeah, I was hoping our 2-year-old wouldn't know the Elf and it would never be a thing. But now that our 8-year-old still thinks it's a thing, now everybody's going to know what it is, and I got to keep doing it for years to come.
All right, what do you want for Christmas?
Ooh, what I don't really want anything physical unless it's an experience. We've
Like
talked
what?
about it several times. I'm an experienced person. I don't want gifts anymore. I want to go on a vacation, or I want to go do something with my family. You know, we were talking about this year possibly going to the beach for New Year's. We did it last year. It's usually around in the 60s, and it's not too bad. And obviously can't go out in the water, but we can just kind of hang out. But that was really fun to experience with them. But I think we're going to hold off this year because I think I'm going to do a big 40th birthday party for my wife. Yes, I said that she's 40,
Woo
and
woo.
we're gonna do that in May next year. And so I'm prepping for that because I think we're going to go out to wine country. We'll
Nice.
use that will be the experience that we hold out for, and maybe Christmas. And I really want a better 2026. I want everybody to be happy and healthy, and just be our family go back to normal a little bit, if that's the
Nice.
thing. You got anything?
I started a scholarship actually this year
Okay,
at the college I went to. So
awesome.
I've been telling people to donate to that. So
Is it the Kyle Richardson Foundation?
it's the Richardson Foundation.
Ooh.
But I
And
got a
where
call
can?
from a professor that they do this National Collegiate Landscape Competition every year. And I went when I was in college. And, I was fortunate enough that I could afford to go. And he made a comment that there's some kids who wanted to go that couldn't afford it. And I said, well, what can I do about this? And I talked to the school and I created a fund. So every year I get to pick 2 students to go. And it's one of those memories that I have from college that I'll never forget. I got 30th out of 5,000 people. That's pretty good in my head, but
I mean, that's pretty good. I'll give that to you.
uh, yeah. So I decided to start a scholarship for it. And the goal is one day I can actually pay for someone to go to college, but start
That's
small, see what
awesome.
happens.
Well, you need to start recruiting people out there to help out with it.
I'm working on a 1-sheeter today, actually.
There you go. There you go. Well, Kyle, it's been great talking to you. Good episode here. As always, friends, make sure to like, subscribe, drop a review. I think what we need to do is why don't you guys see if we can get some people to send us in text, email, call, drop something on the Instagram. Send us your wild Christmas events or stories, and we'll read the best ones on air coming up over the next month, and we'll see if we can get some good stuff going on here. But would love for anybody that's got any good stories or questions or just about winter tenting, if you can drop them in the Instagram DMs, and yeah, we'll come up with some good episodes. I think we got some, like we said last time, we got some good guests coming up. So we're excited for that lineup, and for the people that are going to be coming in. So I think that'll be fun. But we'll be closing out the year, I think, with a bang here.
Yes, sir. And the more graphic the stories, the better. There's no shame in telling everyone about the failures.
No shame, 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 shame. But all right, well, this has been another Rental Management Media podcast. Kyle, we'll see you later, buddy.
Thanks, Nate.